Dear students, in this unit, we will talk about the definition and history of evolution. Now, you must all be aware with this word evolution. Evolution is actually a process by which population of one organism or different organisms changes over a certain period of time. Now, this evolution involves genes of some new traits which are acquired by one generation, and it is transferred to another generation, leading to differences among the populations. This is not a very small change or a change which took place in one organism. These are the changes which take place in overall population over a large period of time, including centuries or 1,000 years. And by those changes, those organisms, they acquire certain characteristics which distinguish them or differentiate them from the parent population, that leads towards the evolution of new species. Now, when we talk about the theory of evolution, this quite explains how populations of organisms have changed over time. A very simple example of evolution is given here, that a finch, which is a bird, ancestral finch, through natural selection gave rise to many different population of the finch, but they are different from their ancestors. Through those changes which took place in their genes, in their DNA, and those changes have completely diversified them and made them into new species. Here you can see that same ancestral finch has given rise to 3 different population. When you see the change in their beak structure, you can see that the same ancestor finch gave rise to a population of insect-eating finch, which is quite different from its parents. And then the second one is woodpecker type insect-eating finch, which is also different from its parent by having quite large beak. Then we have a seed-eating finch. You can see the sharpness of this beak. It helps it to crack the hard shells of those seeds or nuts and make them successful in eating seeds. Now, same parents has given rise to 3 different population of finch, and they are evolutionary conserved, but different evolutionary point of view. They are different from their parents due to the acquiring of certain characteristics which make them look different from their parents. Now, evolution has a very important practical application. Agriculture, when we talk about the agriculture field, agriculture must deal with the evolution of pesticide resistance in insects and other pests. As you are aware that insects have a very short lifespan and they grow very rapidly. So there are high chances that they can develop resistance towards those insecticides or the pesticides which are commonly used in the agriculture crops. Just like the antibiotics, as we are aware that certain antibiotics have become non-responsive towards the new bacteria or species because of the evolution, because of the changes in the DNA of those microorganisms. Those antibiotics are no more effective against the new strains or the latest strains of microorganisms. So the same thing is that those bacterial species or the disease-causing organism, including bacteria and viruses of plants, there is a dire need of developing some new medicines which can cope up with these mutations which has taken place in those organisms and which has rendered them resistant towards the existing these drugs which are used to kill those organisms. Now, biologists have understood the structure, function, and behavior of different organisms and their interactions with one another by considering them in the light of long and continuing process of evolution. Now, this continuous process of evolution has brought up certain changes in different organisms which have made them distinct from their parents or from their counterpart species. Now, the term evolution does not refer to the changes that occur in an individual within its lifetime, but they are referred to the changes or the characteristics, changes in those characteristics of a certain population which took place over a course of generations. Now, how important is the evolution? Evolution allows biologists to compare common threads or common features among different organisms who are seemingly different from each other. For example, bacteria, whale, lilies, slime molds, tapeworms, they are all different, but there are certain characteristics which can be found common in them. And different disciplines of evolution, for example, behavioral evolution, that covers the behavior of different organisms, and you will find quite different organisms, but they will show similar behaviors. And evolutionary biology, evolutionary genetics, then we have evolutionary ecology, evolutionary systematics, and molecular evolution. These are some of the disciplines of biology that specifically focus on the evolution of organisms, including animals and plants. Now, these evolutionary changes that could be very small, and normally they are very small, and it is very difficult to detect in a span of few years in a normal lifetime span, or it could be so much different in a population that you will see a population which is looks very different from the ancestral populations. So these evolutionary changes can be very drastic, can be very different, or although they are not very detectable, easily detectable, but they are happening with the course of time, and a time comes when the new species arises which is quite different from its ancestral species. So this is all the evolution and the origin or the history of evolution.